Come on.
So
Sweeney does this
everything,
every time.
everything about that screams manipulative. Everything about what she said screams manipulative.
What?
Because a lot of women tend to be habitual line crossers and then say, "Oh, I can't deal with a man that ain't got no boundaries," but you don't mind crossing them. Why you keep crossing them?
Women don't trust men that don't have boundaries.
Ventured off of what I'm used to, I don't trust a man that doesn't have boundaries. And not to say that I need a man to put me in my place, but I want to recklessly trust and respect you. And if you're wavering, I can't trust you. If you're looking for outward validation, I can't trust you. If you're looking to go show your family that I'm the big bad wolf, I don't trust you.
Right.
You know, so if it may not feel good, and I've actually had this conversation before where it's like, look, like if the answer is no, then tell me no and say it from your chest. You know what I'm like, mean it, like really mean it. And I think that a lot of the times what people do is, or what men do is, they don't want to hurt feelings. They don't want to make you upset. They don't want to whatever. Well, that's what leadership is. Leadership does not mean perfection. Sometimes leadership comes with some heat. And I may be cussing you out in my mind out of respect. I would never speak it from my mouth. But in my mind, it really makes me be like, oh, okay, my man knows where he's going. I trust your lead. I'll follow you anywhere, you know, and I feel like that's something that's actually lacking a lot in society today.
All right. Women don't trust men that don't have boundaries. I'm gonna go ahead and start with Penny first. What are your thoughts, ma'am?
Yeah. Am I double?
No, you're good.
You mean? Yeah, I do think it's something that's natural, that if a woman does see that a man doesn't have any boundaries, I don't think it's much of a respect thing, but I do think it's much of a leadership thing. So if I see that you don't have boundaries with your mother, with your brother, with your sister, and they've known you for a long period of time and we're together and you don't have boundaries with them, then how are you going to set boundaries with me? Or how are you going to know how to have boundaries with your wife? So I think if a man doesn't have boundaries, it's like a feeling that comes over a woman and she really can't trust your leadership for her to follow you because you don't have any boundaries. So I do think that if men don't have any boundaries, it's hard to follow a man without boundaries, and it's hard to trust a man without boundaries.
All right. Let go. What are your thoughts about it? Women don't trust men that don't have boundaries.
Yeah, one of the main things that men have to have is boundaries, because women are already people pleasing. They're already, a lot of women, like even with sex, some women don't even have boundaries when it comes to little things like sex or taking a condom. It's a lot of boundary issues that women have dealt with throughout their lives. So when they get around a man who doesn't have boundaries, I'm sure that can easily be triggering to the woman, because a lot of times she don't have boundaries. So how can a woman that is either loose with her boundaries or doesn't have boundaries get with a dude that is just like her? So if a man doesn't have boundaries, he don't deserve no woman. To me, it ain't about money. It's about boundaries. It's about respect. If you can't tell a dude like, yo, bro, like that's too much. Yo, no, little things like that, like he's not going to get respect from other men. So when a woman sees that is a possibility that he's not getting respect out in these streets, she ain't going to respect him at home. So if a man ain't got boundaries, he ain't got shit.
Okay. Go ahead, Stacey. What are your thoughts about it? Women don't trust men that don't have boundaries.
I agree. I think a man who lacks boundaries typically lacks in so many other areas of his life as well, including leadership. And also, as somebody who is actively working on boundaries, how are you going to respect the boundaries that I also have for this relationship, or I also have for you and other people, if you can't even focus on your own?
All right. Go ahead, Sweeney.
How do we come off last conversation and get here?
Come on.
So
Sweeney does this
everything about that screams manipulative. Everything about what she said screams manipulative.
What?
Because a lot of women tend to be habitual line crossers and then say, "Oh, I can't deal with a man that ain't got no boundaries, but you don't mind crossing them. Why you keep crossing them?" And then say, "Oh, well, no, because she tried to put it on men and say a man is just unproductive if he lets a woman cross his boundaries. Those aren't real men." No, a lot of men are pushed into positions where a woman can cross boundaries without any consequences other than him just leaving. And most of the time that comes with him losing half his shit or losing his kids. And women know that.
What?
They know that. They know that. And we just sat here and talked about financial abuse, but we can't talk about how people weaponize children in a relationship.
We talking about boundaries. What children come
from? All right.
from?
So my point is that if a guy sets a boundary and she does not like it and she crosses that boundary, how does he exercise?
Before the baby comes, before you get married, get rid of her ass. What are you talking about?
Okay, because people don't cross boundaries after they get married. They only cross them beforehand. People only cross boundaries beforehand. They don't ever cross boundaries after the fact.
I would divorce you if you cross my boundaries after we get married. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Get the fuck, man.
You overstep my boundaries, you're undermining the household, and you might as well be doing what the woman in the first video did, is stealing from me. Your ass is out.
But wait, Sweeney, what are you saying though? Because the video is about men, pretty much your yes not being your yes and your no not being your no. So
that's not the case. That's not
the
case. Men, hold on, wait. No, the case is no. She tried to make it as if men are just very wishy-washy with their decision making without understanding. Hold on, without understanding that we always without understanding that men oftentimes have to tiptoe around women's feelings.
But you don't know. You feel like you do.
Problem.
You feel like you do. You really don't.
Now we feel like we tiptoeing around their feelings. It ain't that we are. When a few weeks ago we was talking about how men have to take into account and talk to their women a certain kind of way. Now we're here saying, "Oh man, he needs to be clear-cut boundaries. Just say no when a no is supposed to mean a no."
Yes. What's wrong with being direct? I don't understand. Where did y'all learn?
Kevin Sayers died, and they celebrated that man's death, and he was direct as all get out.
Campbell, when he said, "Come and talk," like, can I where? Yes, you have to be direct. There's nothing wrong with being direct,
right?
And still having someone's feelings and consideration,
right?
But when you tiptoe around, when you're not really telling me how you feel, when you're not really being direct, it's like I don't respect you because how can I get a clear answer out of you? You're lukewarm. You're not hot. You're not cold. You're not really giving me a concrete answer here. And women don't know what to do with
that
answers that are not direct. If you're not going to give her a direct answer, then don't even talk to her because you're chasing your tail at this point.
Wait a minute. Did we just have a full conversation about how you have to come off on telling her that she's gaining weight and she's getting a little fat without just
No, we literally said you getting fat. That is literally
you said that.
No, you
said that. All the women on this panel was like, "Oh, well, you gotta kind of understand how she may take that. You gotta find the right way to say it." And
yes, you do. Yes, you find those ways, but you getting big, you get a little pudgy, you this, that. It's all the same. It's when you don't say anything or when you're trying not to hurt her feelings, right? And she asks you, "Hey, this dress or this dress?" And you don't want to hurt her feelings, be like, "Oh, I really would like you in that dress, but it looked like you gained a couple pounds, and I know you can't fit into that dress. So let's go with this dress." That's direct. That's like, damn, he really want me in this dress, but I'm not really making weight right now, so he gonna have to settle for me in this dress.